Good morning everyone. Today in our class we will discuss about natural vegetations of North America and the lake regions of North America. Okay, so let's start. First, we will discuss the natural vegetations of North America. You see, the natural vegetations depends on climate. According to the climate, soils, relief features, the growth of the plant and the natural vegetations depend. Okay, for the great diversity of the climate and the relief of North America has a wide varieties of natural vegetations you can see. So number one, we will discuss one by one. Tundra vegetations. Tundra vegetations is extend as a belt across the north of the Alaska to the Labrador along the Arctic Oceans. Okay, and it includes the northern coastal part of Canada, Alaska, and Greenland. And the tundra is a type of vegetations which included mosses, lichens, bruces, and the flowery plants. Okay, and in this cold regions you can see different type animals you can see there, like polar bear, reindeer, ox, arctic fox, etc. Okay, you see the pictures, you can see in your skin that the picture of different type of forest, different type of natural vegetations in North America. Okay, tundra vegetations, coniferous, so many types of vegetations is there. Now we will discuss next one. This is the taiga and the coniferous forest belt. Taiga and coniferous forest belt is spread south of the tundra, just south of the tundra regions in the north of the North America, and this taiga and the coniferous forest is just below the tundra. Okay, just below the tundra, and it is extend over the 4,800 kilometers from the Pacific to the Atlantic, with an average width is about 960 kilometers. Okay. Next, you see here you can see the soft-toothed coniferous tree of this forest, like pine, spruce, spruce, balsams, douglas, red pine, white pine, etc. Also, the few animals is also found there, like sable, beaver, white fox, white bear, like this. Number 3, mixed forest belt. Mixed forest belt himane, that's mean here you can see the deciduous forest and the evergreen type of forest. Okay. Now, deciduous and the coniferous trees found in this belt. This belt is spread in the eastern Canada and the northeastern United States. And here you can see the plant like pine, oak, beech, elm, ash, maple, this type of tree. And few animals is also found here, like jackals, white bear, seals, and the other few animals. Next one is number 4, prairies and the temperate grassland. Okay, the central part of North America receives very little rainfall, and that's why only grasses grow in this region. Okay, and it is name given by the early French people, prairies. What is the meaning of prairies? Prairies means meadows. Okay, grasses. Okay, and here this land is also known as, because of the grass growing in this region, so that's why wheat cultivation is also famous in this region. So this region is known as the Great Wheat Land of the USA and the Canada. Next, number 5, desert and the semi-desert vegetations belt. It is extend over a large regions of the north of Mexico, Arizona, and the southern California. Okay, and only the thorny bushes, cactus type of plant you can see in this region, and also there is not so much animal you can find in this region. Next one is the Mediterranean type of vegetations. Mediterranean type of vegetations is you can see only a very small regions of the central California coast, and this vegetations can withstand in the summer drought. You know the Mediterranean type of climate where the winter seasons are wet and cold, but the summer seasons are dry. So the main rainfall happened maximum in the winter season. So that's why, and the summer is always dry, drought. Okay. So the maximum cultivations or the plant grow during the winter seasons in the Mediterranean regions. And here you can see very small and oily leaves. Also this region is famous for the fruits cultivations. Okay, fruits cultivations. And some of the plants have the thick bark and the leathery thick leaves. And here you can see mainly this region is famous for the citrus type of fruits like olive, cork, oak, and fruits like grapes, orange, vine, apricots, almonds, etc. Okay. Next is the subtropical evergreen forest. This is found in the southeastern United States, and here the main characteristics of this forest is the plants have the long leaves and like examples is yellow pine, plum, cypress. Okay, and this region is mainly important for the cultivations. Okay. Now next one is the tropical forest. This is the last one. Tropical forest, it is found around the Gulf of Mexico, Central America, and Guatemala and Honduras. Okay, this region, and in this region, this is the hot and humid region. So the trees of the tropical forest with the broad leaves. Okay, and some of the species include the plums, teak, the bamboos, coconuts, and they are all the hardwood type of plant. This zone of this natural vegetation supply abundant soft and hardwood like timber and the varieties of fruits product. Okay, forest product. Next, this is the Prairies grassland. I already discussed with you, but we will discuss the Prairies grassland in details, which is very important for the short note. Okay, the prairies are the grassland of the North America. The term included the area referred to as the interior lowland of Canada and the United States of Mexico. It covered almost all the Great Plain. And the prairies in the French word, you already know the meaning, meadows. Okay, and in the spring season the ice basically melt in this region, so the grass grow in this region. Okay, and the grassland of these meadows then become the ideal grazing land. As a result, what you see, if the grazing land is developed there, the dairy farm is also developed in this region. Okay, and the tall grasses prairies has been converted Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Nebraska, etc. The highly productive soil are included in this corn belt. So you can see the wheat cultivations and the corn cultivations is very famous in this region. Okay, and the wheat cultivations begin in the spring season when the northern part is ice melted. And this region is known as the spring wheat belt. In the southern part, wheat is cultivated in the winter. Okay, understood the meaning. Okay, in the northern portions, the wheat cultivations begins in the spring season. In the southern cultivations, the wheat cultivations begin in the winter seasons. Okay, as wheat is cultivated is almost throughout the year that of this Prairies region. That's why this Prairies region is also known as the bread basket of the world. And another name, what I said, the name is Great Wheat Land. Okay, so you have to remember these two names. Okay. Now, next topic is the lake regions of North America. Lake regions of North America, first we will discuss about the introductions and the locations of this region. This region is located on the central part of the USA. There are the 5 great freshwater lakes I already discussed with you. These are the Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and the Ontario Lake. Okay, the Lake Superior is by the for the largest freshwater lake in the world. Okay, and of this 5 lakes, only the Lake Michigan lies totally within in the United States, and other lakes are divided in the all the state. Okay, the remaining 4 both except Lake Michigan, others Superior, Ontario, Huron, Erie, they are all located between in the 2 states in United States and the USA and the Canada. Okay, this region cover with throughout the area of 7,64,570 square kilometer, and these regions extend between 41 degree north and the 50 degree north latitudes, and between the 75 degree west and the 93 degree west longitude. Okay, see this total map. You can see the Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, Lake Erie. All the important 5 lakes are located here. Okay, next we will another point is the physical features of the lake region. Okay, this entire landscape present the features of the glaciated topography. Okay, as you know that the total North America is northern part is located in the Arctic region. So the entire landscape mainly present the glacial topography. This land is composed of the glacial drift and contains the glacial depositions of sand, gravel, clay, etc. And during the ice age, the Canadian Shield area was covered by the ice. And due to the prolonged erosions, the snow-covered regions has been transported into the basin, which later changed into the Great Lake region. Okay, all the melted glaciers are deposited in on this lake. Okay, water are deposited on this lake. Now the next topic is the river of the lake region. Here the river, most important river of the lake region is St. Lawrence River. St. Lawrence, the most important river. It is flow through the lake eastward and meet in the Atlantic. You already learned in when we learned about the river topic, and it's link up with the all lakes, and it is collect by the different names in the between the lakes regions, like Saint Maria River in between the Superior and the Huron, and the river Detroit River in between the Huron and Erie, and the Niagara River between the Erie and Ontario. Mane the St. Lawrence River have the different name. Okay, between these 5 lakes. And the Niagara River formed the greatest waterfall in this region, and the Niagara is also noted for the generating hydroelectric power. Okay, the next topic is the climate of the lake, this lake region. Okay, the climate of the lake regions is cold temperate type of climate. It is to some extent modified by the presence of the lake, and the winter temperature fall below during the winter season, and summer are pleasant with a little bit high temperature. Okay, and the average annual rainfall is 70 to 80 centimeter. Now the next is the natural vegetation. Depends on the climatic condition. You can see the regions like in the mixed forest zone. Okay, here you can find the oak, beech, maple, poplar, chestnut tree like this. And agriculture is also depend on the agriculture. Lake regions is very famous for this agriculture. The vast plain land present ideal land for the cultivated various type of crop. The growing conditions of the crop like temperature, rainfall, they are very good for the growing crops. Okay, and the fertile Charnosian soil also supply essential plant nutrient. Cultivated is done by the modern method. Multiple crops can be cultivated as the crop rotations is practiced in this region. Water for irrigations is very available from this lake region, because all the lakes have the fresh water, right, and dense populations in this lake regions created demand for the food. Okay, next the western and the southern western part in this regions lie in the corn belt of the USA. Large amount of maize, oats, soybeans, barley, rye, beets, etc. are produced in this region. Corn is cultivated very widely as the fodder crops. Okay, and in the northern part of the corn belt, hay, clover, alfalfa grasses grow for the feeding of the cattle. Okay, large quantity of maize is produced in the central part of this region, and fruits like cherries, peaches, apples, grapes are also grown in this region. Okay, in the eastern shores of Lake Michigan and the southern shores of Lake Erie and Ontario. The next topic is the livestock raising and the dairying farming. Okay, the cool climate, short growing seasons favored the growth of hay, clover grass, which supply food for the cattle. Okay, and that's why the supply of the water is also available in the lake, and the vast plain areas, grassland is ideal for the grazing land and the dairy farming. So the cool climate of the north region favored the preservations of the dairy products like the cheese, milk, butter, meat, etc. And here the Illinois and the Minnesota are noted for the hog raising. In the core belt of this large ranges, here you can see the beef cattle, and also Chicago is located beside the Michigan lake in the corn belt is known for the meat production. Chicago is very famous for the meat productions and conservation. For this reason, Chicago is known as the slaughterhouse of the world. Okay, and the sheep rearing and the poultry farming for rearing duck and hen have also been taken as growing industry in the lake regions. Okay, now the next topic is mineral wealth. The lake regions is rich in the mineral resources like Lake Superior regions is noted for iron ore. The major iron mines are at Mosabi, Vermilion, Quina, and the Minnesota in the state of Gosby, Marquette, and the Menominee in Wisconsin. Okay, and the mines of Michigan are also very important. Mosabi is the largest iron ore mine in USA, and coal is mined in the state of Illinois and Indiana. Michigan, Ohio is famous for the minerals oil productions. Next is industry. This region, lake regions, is very important for the availability of the raw materials from forest and animals. So the huge amount of minerals resources of iron is also available. Coal is also available. Support for the growth other industries is available for this. So here industries is also developed. Hydropower generating Niagara Falls supply the power. Water is available for the Great Lake of the St. and the St. Lawrence River. Sufficient labor are available due to the dense populations, and the well-knit network of the roadway, waterway transportation is very important for the development of industry, and availability of sufficient capital is also there. Large population provide the ready market for the finished product, and the St. Lawrence Seaway help import the raw material and export the finished product to the foreign market. Okay, so this is all about the lake regions. Okay, I hope all of you understood. If there is any queries, please let me know, and please subscribe my channel, like and share. Thank you.